The RBA commits to quantitative easing. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and I've got my evening stein. I thought tonight we would have a look at the statement by Dr. Philip Lowe, our governor from the Reserve Bank, regarding his monetary policy decision today. And surprising absolutely no one, the cash rate has remained steady, so I don't really need to bother updating my chart. They pretty much said it's going to remain this level for 3 years. But what is interesting, and what we'll see here, is that the RBA has doubled down on their commitment to QE. So let's have a look. At its meeting today, the board reaffirmed the targets for the cash rate and the yield on 3-year Australian government bonds of 25 basis points, as well as other elements of the package announced on the 19th of March 2020. The first inter-board meeting, emergency meeting since 1997. The illness remains first and foremost a very major public health issue, but it is also having very significant effects on economies and financial systems around the world. Many countries are expected to experience large economic contractions as a consequence of the public health response. Large increases in unemployment are also expected. Once the virus is contained, a recovery in the global economy is expected, with the recovery supported by both the large fiscal packages and significant easing in monetary policy that has taken place. And we looked at earlier today, just MMT, modern monetary theory, where they're just essentially printing more and more money. Financial market volatility has been historically high, and many markets around the world have been dislocated. There are, however, some signs that markets are working more effectively than they were a few weeks ago. This improvement partly reflects the substantial measures undertaken by central banks. Well, yeah, that's not an overstatement. If anything, it's an understatement. Substantial measures. It's ludicrous what the central banks are doing around the world. It's definitely an interesting time to be alive. We are definitely all part of history now. In Australia, the yield on 3-year Australian government bonds is now around the target level set by the board, and the functioning of the government bond markets has improved. The bank will do what is necessary to achieve the 3-year yield target, with the target expected to remain in place until progress is being made towards the goals for full employment and inflation. So there you have it, guys. The RBA is going to do what is necessary to achieve their goals until full employment and inflation. Now, let's just bring up my favorite chart about wage growth from the RBA. We can see their ability to predict what's happening is second to none. Since this target was introduced, the bank has bought around 36 billion of government bonds in secondary markets, including bonds issued by the states and territories. So, just think about that. $36 billion worth of government bonds that will be paying money to the Reserve Bank that they got for absolutely nothing. That 36 billion they just magicked out of thin air. So we'll be paying that tax. $36 billion. What happens when they hit maturity? The government will continue to promote the smooth functioning of these important markets. If conditions continue to improve, though, it is likely that smaller and less frequent purchases of government bonds will be required. What do you think, guys? Do you think they will improve? Or in another month's time, we're going to see the RBA purchase $90 billion worth of government bonds to ensure the liquidity? Let me know what you think in the comments, everyone. At least we're not as bad as America, not yet. Not yet. This isn't even talking the money that they're throwing at the repo market. And actually, I had a viewer send me a message on Facebook. They'd just heard of someone who was called into work and refused because they could stay home and get $750 a week. I've had other people share experiences of that as well on Facebook, of course, where they've run businesses and haven't been able to get their workers to come in because they'd rather the $750 a week they get for doing nothing. Do you think this money for everyone is going to backfire, guys, in some regards? There'll be calls for a UBI. I mean, just think about it. With modern monetary theory, what if the government just gave everyone all the money they needed? Then no one would have to work. And then they could just tax them more to slow it down, but then give them more money again. Fantastic. They wouldn't even need to spend any money on ink because it's all digital now in our cashless world. It's utopia, guys. Utopia. Just a few little problems there. Probably a lack of understanding of humans, but I'm sure, it'll work this time. The bank has injected substantial liquidity into the financial system through its daily open market operations to support credit and maintain low funding costs in the economy. So this is in the repurchasing market. So that means the RBA is having to come in there and buy stuff no one else will buy. So are the banks not trusting each other? Are there other liquidity issues? That should be a worrying sign to all of us, guys. It's essentially the RBA bailing out the banks in a way. It will continue to ensure the financial system has sufficient liquidity. Given the substantial liquidity that is already in the system and the commencement of the term funding facility, the daily open market operations are likely to be on a smaller scale in the near term. Operations at longer terms will continue, but the frequency of these operations will be adjusted as necessary according to market conditions. So we'll see. I mean, they're not saying they're going to stop them, are they? The first drawings under the term funding facility were made yesterday. This facility will help lower funding costs across the banking system and provides an incentive for lenders to support credit to businesses, especially small and medium-sized businesses. Authorized deposit-taking institutions have access to at least $90 billion in funding under this facility. So, who is going to borrow this money right now? I still don't understand who's going to borrow it. What small to medium business would have confidence borrowing in this climate? Let me know in the comments if you know anyone who has. Maybe there's some businesses that are doing better off than others. But I know Nerida Kniesby was telling us in the last article we looked at that the Centrelink business, maybe it's growing, or the health sector, they're not really SMEs, are they? Maybe doctors' surgeries can borrow money to install protective screens. So there's considerable uncertainty about the near-term outlook for the Australian economy. Much will depend on the success of the efforts to contain the virus and how long the social distancing measures need to remain in place. Well, I was looking at news.com just before, and there's no talk of social distancing ending. A very large economic contraction is, however, expected to be recorded in the June quarter, and the unemployment rate is expected to increase to its highest level for many years. Are they going to count? See, the JobKeeper people won't be counted as unemployed. We need to track that as well. We need to track how many people are in the JobKeeper program, because that's concerning. That's less productivity in the economy. The coordinated monetary and fiscal policy, together with complementary measures taken by Australia's banks, will soften the expected contraction and help ensure the economy is well placed to recover once the health crisis has passed and restrictions are removed. These various responses are providing considerable support to Australian households and businesses through what is a very difficult period. The Australian financial system is resilient. It is well capitalised and in a strong liquidity position, except you're having to intervene in the repo market on a daily basis, but let's forget about that. With these financial buffers available to be drawn down if required to support the economy. The board is committed to doing what it can to support jobs, income and business as Australia deals with the illness. The comprehensive policy package announced last month will also support the expected recovery. The board will not increase the cash rate target until progress is being made towards full employment, and it is confident that inflation will be sustainable within the 2 to 3% target band. The board wishes the best to all Australians as the country deals with this very difficult situation. So there we have it, guys. What I would consider a doubling down on QE by the RBA and a commitment to keeping the cash rate at a low level for the foreseeable future. What do you think, guys? Do you think this? Do you think they're going to pull back on buying government bonds? Or do you think we'll see more next month? Or the month after? Or in 6 months' time? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and you want to support us to help make more content, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or on Patreon for a monthly fee. You can use our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay for your consumer purchases, or Independent Reserve and Kucoin for the crypto traders out there. We also have merchandise available from HeiseSays. You can see the pocket squares behind me, I always get it wrong, and mugs from Teespring. You can send us gold using Gold Pass, or you can also support us via PayPal. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.